What's up, Planeswalkers? How you doing? How you doing? And good evening. Welcome to the next step in Duskmourn. Okay, yeah. Welcome to Duskmourn, and today we're going to take a look at another fun commander. This time a mono-black creature called Valgavoth, Terror Eater, a 9/9 life-linking Elder Demon, which comes with a nasty ward ability, but the meat of this card is in its two abilities. First, if a card you didn't control would be put into a opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it. Okay, that's really good. Then, during your turn, you may play cards exiled with Valgavoth. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its mana cost rather than pay its mana cost. Powerful stuff. So today's deck plans to do a lot of big, black stuff, and use our life total to do any number of things, from stealing stuff with our commander or cheating out our own cards. To make things simpler, I put together this graphic. So nothing too complicated today, but that doesn't mean the deck won't be fun, because a wise man once said, stealing your opponent's stuff is one of Magic's greatest achievements and enjoyments. Mark Rosewater, I think. Anyways, today's deck budget is pretty good and could be better if you drop the mana base I'm using. One last thing, the Halloween special is coming back this year, so subscribe if you want to be up to date on that, and I'm giving away decks again. Let's start things out simple with our Card Advantage package. These cards will help us get cards in our hand and let us play cards directly from our library. First up is Necropotence. We can pay as much life as we want to get some cards. Since our commander and other cards we play gain us lots of life, we really don't mind the cost for cards. Read the Bones, Sign in Blood, and Siphon Mine are all cheap card draw effects at their base with different effects. Siphon Mine with our commander is not very nice to our opponents. Village Rites, Deadly Dispute, Plumb the Forbidden are all card draw spells that require us to sack creatures. Plumb the Forbidden does have a massive upside since we can sack our whole board in response to a board wipe. Black Market Connections helps us do a lot, but in this case we're mostly interested in the card for 2 life a turn. Bolas's Citadel is a massive card advantage engine that can be used to combo off with the right cards, which we're not playing in the deck, since I wanted to make something a little more flavorful, but again, a good starting point if you want to add a combo in the deck. Let's continue the trend of getting the boring stuff over, so we're going to talk about mana ramp. We can't cheat out Big Demon without some solid ramp. We've got a solid mix of artifacts and creatures to ramp us. Starting with the classics, Arcane Signet, Soul Ring, and Jet Medallion. They all keep us ahead of the curve. Got Crick, Son of Yawgmoth, who lets us pay life for our black spells, and in this deck that's basically cheating out mana. Cryptghast helps double our swamps, which combined with Liliana of the Dark Realms gives us plenty of mana to play with. Blood Funnel reduces our spells, but we'll need to sacrifice creatures. Don't worry though, we have plenty to throw away. And Scepter of Eternal Glory, if you control 3 lands of the same type, it taps for 3 mana, and in a mono black deck, that's gonna happen pretty often. Warren, Soul Trader, and Blood Pet add some ways to generate mana by sacrificing creatures, which plays perfectly into our other synergies. And finally we have Black Market. Now let's dive into removal and protection package, because we're going to need to control things if we want to do fun stuff. For removal, Consuming Corruption is a life gain source that can kill most creatures, and like Defile and Tendrils of Corruption, it scales with our swamps to do more damage. Feed the Swarm handles enchantments, Black's weak spot, and creatures alike. Infernal Grasp offers cheap removal. Toxic Deluge is a flexible board wipe that hits everything for a small life investment. Font of Agonies builds up counters whenever we pay life, making it a repeatable source of removal. Withering Torment gives us another way to remove enchantments and creatures. On to Protection and Recursion. Lightning Greaves and Swiftfoot Boots are your go-to haste and shroud enablers, making sure Valgavoth stays alive and dangerous. Phyrexian Reclamation is cheap recursion to keep our key creatures coming back, while Whip of Erebos brings creatures back for one final attack with lifelink attached. Scavenger's Talent offers us an easy way to bring back important creatures, and the mill trigger on it can be useful since our commander doesn't need stuff to die to steal them, it just cares about them going into the graveyard. We've arrived at the value pile, where the real powerhouse and fun cards are. First, Breach the Multiverse lets us grab creatures or planeswalkers from graveyards, and this card is usually backbreaking, but with our commander it becomes somehow even worse. It's a draw 30 that we can then use our life total to pay for the cards that we stole. Enduring Tenacity can help us drain our opponents further since life gain is a big part of our deck, and it turns swings from our commander into 18 damage to that player. Veto, Thorn of the Dusk Rose is almost the same card, but we can also give lifelink to our whole board with Veto. Rotten Mouth Viper is a perfect card to put the squeeze on our opponents, and most players won't be willing to sack cards since our commander will just steal them. Shieldred is a wonderful card that kills stuff and gives us a game-ending effect on its Saga side. Also, if our commander is out, any discard is brutal. Mind Crank, since we can steal even more cards from our opponents, and if you wanted an extra combo, you could always throw in a Bloodchief Ascension with this card. Exsanguinate can just end games if we have a card like Veto out. Dark Deal is here for the value we get when wheeling our opponents out, otherwise I would hold off on casting this card unless your hand is just that bad. Eradicator Valkyrie is a way for us to repeat an Edict effect at the table. Hellish Rebuke is a fun way to steal someone's board if they think our guard is down since our commander is tapped. Pontiff of Blight hands out Extort for even more life gain. Sangomancer is a really brutal card, especially with something like Enduring Tenacity, and on its own it's just a good source of life gain. Thieving Amalgam can drain players whenever our stolen creatures die, and even if we can't get our commander out, we can still steal creatures from our opponents with this card. Tevesh Savat, Doom of Fools, does everything we like, makes cheap creatures for us to sack, draws cards, and the ultimate, which, strangely enough, I've seen happen twice, is possible because a lot of players do not respect this Planeswalker. Dread Presence is another classic card advantage piece that we'll use to drain players when needed. The final thing we need to talk about is our sacrifice strategy and life gain. So we'll call this section the Sack and Gain package. Blood Artist cares about stuff dying and can gain us life playing into both parts of this section. Bontu's Monument drains the table when we play black spells, and the discount is worth remembering. Creeping Bloodsucker is 3 life every turn when hurting our opponents. Death Greeter cares about any creature except itself hitting the graveyard, which at first might seem strange since our commander exiles most cards, but I found this card can still work well enough early game to get its spot in the deck, and remember, our creatures count for us. Demon's Horn cares about anyone casting a black spell, and trust me, we need the life. Plus, if we steal a black card with our commander, we can look at this as discounting the amount of life we have to lose to play it. Grey Merchant of Asphodel is pretty deadly in a mono black deck, especially when our commander comes with 3 pips itself. We're mainly playing Gary though for his life gain this time. Staff of the Death Magus is more easy to get life gain that potentially discount spells we steal with our commander. Curse Marauder, Fleshbag Marauder, and Plague Crafter are all edict effects on a stick that we can use with our recursion spells to grind people out. Disciple of Bolus and Disciple of Grizzlebrand allow us to trade creatures in for more cards. Brand's Arisen Nightmare lets us sack any kind of permanent, and again, if our commander is out, people will not want to be sacking those cards because it means we take them. Ayara, First of Locthwain, drains and gains for us while turning creatures into cards once a turn. Altar of Dementia, depending on our life total, could mean we could take a player out by exiling their deck. It's wishful thinking, but hey, one can dream. For the mana base, follow your heart and wallet, but if you need a mana base, start with Swamps. Or just take the mana base found in the deck list in the description of this video. My recommended land for this deck is Cabal, Coffers, and Orborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, since we need lots of mana for our commander. There is no technical combo in the deck, although it is possible given the right circumstances to go infinite with the deck, but that would require too many cards for it to be something I could show. However, if you want to combo in the deck, consider adding a Bloodchief Ascension for the Mind Crank. Thanks for making it this far in the video, and I hope you enjoyed my take on this new mono black commander. Let me know how I did, or tell me about your favorite mono black creature in the comments below. Subscribe to get updated when I upload next, or learn more when I do my next giveaway, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.